What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a new episode of Mostly Wrong Opinions. I am Tyrone. That is Devin. Hit that subscribe button right there. And hit that like button, all right? It really does help out the channel. Now, on to an awesome furry adventure.
A furry adventure? All right.
Yeah, man. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers right now on Disney+.
What's the first thing that pops into your head when I say Chip and Dale? I bet it's these guys! But certainly the second would be those rascally cartoon chipmunks, Chip and Dale.
This is a world where human beings live with cartoon characters in harmony.
Yes,
And
a
it's
lot like
big-
Roger Rabbit.
Right, like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which ironically Roger Rabbit was in this film briefly.
Yeah, he like walks across the screen. Chip and Dale was a television show, and so the chipmunks, who are also named Chip and Dale, just happen to be actors who happen to play characters with their same names. If you don't remember them, that's okay. That's also like a big, big part of the film.
Yeah.
He was on the Rescue Rangers. We were on the show together. Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers. When you need help, just call.
Never heard of it.
What?
And so these actors, they did actually play Chip and Dale in the 80s and 90s, and it's been like 30 years. And it hasn't all been, roses for them,
Haven't been roses at all.
Mm-hmm.
With Dale working at an insurance claim, and he doesn't like life.
Mm-hmm.
He's a single dude that has a dog at the house, which is hilarious. I liked the animation style in this film. The switch between 2D to 3D, from 3D to just regular film. I liked it. I liked it a lot, man.
Yeah, the animation style is kind of chaotic. Its style is there is no style. Dale is CGI, while Chip is traditional hand-drawn 2D. And this is acknowledged because Dale is trying to relive his old days. You know what I mean? He's trying to stay relevant. So he has 3D-ized himself, and it is more or less seen as kind of tacky and kind of try hard in the film.
You look the same?
Yeah, thanks. And you look different.
Hey, it's no secret I had the CGI surgery done, and it's done wonders rejuvenating my career.
The animation styles do not mix, and for some reason, it kind of does mix. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like really interesting. Like it takes everyone's style. It's got the 90s. It looks like it's hand-drawn animation mixed with like modern CGI characters, mixed with like a claymation type of deal.
With the Shutter claymation, with the police chief.
So every style is just like oh, this character was made claymation, so he jitters and he looks like he stutters around because it looks like it's claymation. This person, he's still doing the old 90s hand-drawn thing. So it's a weird, chaotic mix, which I think came together a lot better than I was expecting. Because I'll be honest, just be upfront. When the movie started, I was like, dear God, this movie. I was so afraid. I was like, oh no, because it starts with Chip and Dale as little baby chipmunks, and the chipmunks, they can't make friends in school, and I'm like, Lord have mercy, this looks stupid. I was holding the remote, I was like, about to turn this off. But then the movie, it's aware. It knows that this is kind of silly and kind of dopey, and it's a lot more self-aware than I initially gave it credit for. This is a surprisingly mature film, and it's a surprisingly cynical film because it's about how Hollywood likes to reboot and repackage things you like.
I mean,
while at the same time rebooting and repackaging something you like. You know what I mean? So it's like it's very much aware, which I thought came off really, really funny. It was much funnier than I expected. This one took me off guard.
Okay. Yeah, that one looks pretty good.
Chip and Dale are needed to solve a mystery of their long friend Monterey Jack's disappearance. Monterey Jack.
The years have not been kind to Monterey Jack.
The years have not been kind to him. He lives in a shagadelic pad of our apartment, and he is on that booger sugar. But this booger sugar is compared to cheese.
Right. He's an addict. And you're like, I'm like, what? When I saw this, I was like, first I was like, do they know? Because this was still early on in the film. I was like, do they know they're making cheese sound like crack cocaine? And then I'm like, yo, they're totally aware. Like, he has turned into a coke addict. Just the idea is really shocking to see on like Disney Plus.
There's people out there that's gonna hate on Turning Red about periods and stuff like that. It's like, yo, man. Stop.
Yeah, again, we talked about this in other episodes. There are fake issues that people are just like talking about. Turning Red, the controversy, as you say, was all bull. But this movie is a lot more controversial than Turning Red ever was. So yeah, Monterey Jack, he's a coke addict and he owes money to like what looks like the mob, and they seem to have kidnapped him. And you're like, what? This is the concept for Chip and Dale? And
Chip and Dale got to find out who kidnapped him and save him.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot more charming than it probably looks in the trailer. I wasn't expecting something much more mature, much more akin to Who Framed Roger Rabbit. There are a lot of cameos in this film. But unlike a Marvel cameo,
let's talk about that.
Unlike Marvel cameos where they try to pick your favorite characters and you're like, wow. This movie, all the cameos are people you kind of like vaguely know. It's like, oh yeah, okay.
To me, it's cameos with a purpose.
All these characters are like the last ones that haven't gotten their reboots, or they've more or less been forgotten and discarded. So like, for example, one of the cameos one of the villains is like this bear, and you're like, where have I seen that bear before? And you're like, oh, it's the Coca-Cola polar bear, you know? And you're like, what? And then it's got, of course, the one that everyone's gonna be talking about. It's Ugly Sonic, you know, the previous version of Sonic.
I was cracking up.
Yeah, it was genuinely funny.
Is that so difficult to believe?
Oh, I guess not.
Yeah, you know what? That's great.
So I enjoyed the cameos here more than I think I would have enjoyed in like a more conventional like Marvel film.
Or Space Jam.
Oh yeah, or like Space Jam. Yeah, exactly.
Bro, they just put them in there just because they own the characters, and they just put them down into the screen so they can see it. With they're there for a reason. Okay.
And they've got personalities, and it's probably not the personality you're expecting. Right. So which makes it really funny. And you're like, what? You know?
Oh man. You had Flounder getting kidnapped. And he's like, I'll pay you back in the crib.
Right. It's just really funny.
Oh my God. Chip and Dale is played by John Mulaney and Andy Samberg. There's been some people that's online that was having some issues saying that it wasn't played by the original people in the 80s. That's bullcrap. Andy Samberg, man, and John Mulaney, I think they did a good job.
Yeah, they did great. And so apparently, the people who played the original Chipmunks, it was like a bunch of people, like the voices, like they were like, I think it was like 5 or 6 people who kind of just rotated in and out. Sometimes it was 2 women, sometimes it was 2 men, sometimes it was a man and a woman, but it didn't matter because the voices were like pitched up and you couldn't really tell.
Pitched up and sped up the track.
Yeah, so you couldn't really tell. So yeah, that's a weird complaint because there was not just like one actor who played Dale. You know what I mean? There's like a handful of actors, so that's fine.
And they have a twist to this film at the end about the bad guy and who's the original bad guy, which was, you know, they even poked fun of it, like, you should knew all along.
Right. It's like, it's really obvious who the bad guy is, guys. They're like, no, it can't be him. That's too obvious. And it's like, nah, you know.
Yeah.
So it's really funny.
Which is kind of a rule within these films. They kind of said the same thing with Scream. Remember when Dewey was like, "It's always a boyfriend." you noticed that it was rated PG with all the adult themes in here.
Yeah, which I was surprised.
You should make up another type of rating system that's right in between PG and 13, because there's some little middle part right there.
Yeah, the movie gets dark at times with characters falling on hard times and becoming addicted to, you know, cheese, aka cocaine. There are characters who get killed in dramatic ways. So it feels a lot more. It feels a lot darker than you would think. But that might just be the fact that I'm an adult and I can understand what they're saying, but a kid might not pick up that this is. They might just think Monterey just likes cheese, and so does Flounder. And Peter Pan, it got old and mean, and that you just don't think him. You don't think about it. But we know that the idea of Peter Pan, the boy who he's never supposed to age, supposed to stay a child,
and when he does, what his mental state is going to be if he grows up,
right? And this is someone who got older in an industry where you're really not allowed to get older. You know what I mean? So like I can see it, and it feels a lot more mature than it is like on its surface level. So I liked it quite a bit, and I was surprised by the rating. I was like, oh wow, just PG. And I'm surprised to see it on Disney Plus. Crazy.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. With this being on Disney Plus, man, Disney Plus is now becoming one of the most quintessential streaming platforms out there to have. Because if they're going to find faith with them not putting one of their biggest films or any of their films in the theater and put it on streaming, that goes back to what Devin was talking about. These theaters about to die out, man.
Yeah, that's it. and every time you play Chip and Dale, they get all the profit, 100%.
All the profit.
They don't have to cut it with the theater, nothing. They get all of it. So, but apparently, a lot of theaters didn't like playing Disney movies anyway because usually Disney pays the theater to put their movie in the theater, but because Marvel is so big, it's been the other way around. Disney's like, you come to me. You want Marvel? You pay me. So the theaters would lose money every time they played a Disney movie. So, but they needed to do it because it attracted people. So a lot of people didn't like that system anyway. So, hey, if they can keep all their money on streaming,
hey, which kind of just calls to the point. Encanto was in theaters, but it wasn't in theaters for a month and a half.
Yeah.
As soon as it hit Disney Plus, it launched into another stratosphere.
It sure did. You're right.
So, but let's get into our rating of Chip and Dale.
That
one of
song
the best
stuck in my
theme
head.
songs.
Yeah,
One of the
stuck
best
in there.
theme songs. I love the animation in this. I love the voiceovers in this. I love the cameos in this, and it's cameos with a purpose. It wasn't even Chip was making fun of this. He was like, man, they always got to make a cartoon rap.
Yeah, and then they rap. Yeah.
And they rap, but they did it with a purpose.
But it was
they didn't
so bad.
it was so bad, and it was purposely
terrible.
bad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, yeah.
But it wasn't like Porky Pig rapping in a rap battle in Space Jam. I was like, they throwing shots. They showing shots here. Yeah, this film, it was a pleasure to watch. I'm gonna give this film a 8 out of 10.
Okay. Yep, I really enjoyed this film too. I was surprised. I was not expecting to watch the spiritual successor of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but here we are.
Basically, that's what it is.
And I liked this movie a lot. It was a pleasant surprise. So I'm going to give this one an 8. I thought it was really, really good.
They can basically make a second film. They can if they wanted to.
They could. I feel like there's a lot we could do here, and they used the fact that no one knows or even particularly cares who Chip and Dale is. They use that to their advantage to essentially create some new characters. That's what it felt like to me. These felt like wholly unique characters, and I like that. I really enjoyed that. I like that a lot. And the movie did something really interesting too with nostalgia. So I'm always hard on movies with this like nostalgia baiting, and this one it was like almost anti-nostalgia. It was like, I know you don't remember who this is, and it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You've never seen Ugly Sonic animated ever.
Oh.
But here he is, and you're like, and you didn't ask for it, but there it is. So it was like almost like reverse nostalgia. It's like now I've got nostalgia for something that actually never existed or I never saw. So I thought it was really clever. I thought it was very, very, very smart. Like a really good way to modernize. I mean, freaking Chip and Dale. Like who was asking for that?
Nobody was asking for it, but I'm like, it was a nice, neatly packaged surprise. It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, so, glad I got it. Yeah.
I gave this film an 8. Devin gave this film an 8. We both agree again. Man, we've been on a roll with agreeing on some things, you know. And this is no different. go ahead and borrow your friend's Disney Plus subscription and watch Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers right now. Disney Plus.
I was always more of an Alvin and the Chipmunks person.
You monster.
Hey, we'd like to thank you for clicking on this video. We've been having our subscriber count go up, and that is awesome. If you could do us a favor, really quickly to the side, to the right, hit that subscribe button right there. It really does help out the channel when you do that. Also, what helps out the channel is a thumbs up if you like this reaction. But you can put a thumbs down if you can just be like, well, I hate everything with nostalgia and everything with Chip and Dale. But whatever you choose, it is your opinion. But just remember one thing, it's mostly wrong. See you guys in another video.